Hi friends, it's my birthday. Well, technically it's not. Yesterday was my birthday, but I was traveling. But I'm back today, and I'm very excited to take you along with me for my birthday weekend. Hopefully the wind is not too bad on the microphone. But I'm just hanging out outside with the doggies. Webb is eating something, and Sully is sitting. I purchased myself a book for my birthday, and it's very silly, so I'm very excited to tell you about it. I got the Book of Zog. This is an independently published cozy fantasy by Alec Hudson. And let me read you the back. What were the great old ones like before they were old? In the shadow of cosmic horrors, a newly birthed entity, Zorg must come to understand his true nature, learn how to wield his dreadful powers, and search for meaning in the mad spaces between the stars. Hopefully, he'll also make some friends along the way. A Lovecraftian cozy fantasy. I think there's a cat in here who he befriends, and I'm just very excited to read that. My mom said that she has sent me some books, I think, as a giftie, so we'll have to see when that comes in. She said it was supposed to get here today, but it's a little late in the day for delivery, so I'm gonna assume that's gonna arrive tomorrow or the day after instead. And I have enlisted my friend to help me plan what I want to do for my birthday, because I'm really awful at doing that and she's much better at it, so hopefully she will help me out. What do you guys like to do for your birthday? I feel like I'm either plan a huge party and then get stressed when everything doesn't go exactly the way that I want, or don't talk to me, it's not my birthday kind of a person. And I'd like to find a happy medium somewhere in between that range. I would love to know what you guys like to do on your birthdays, if you celebrate your birthdays. Let's hang out with the doggies outside and read my book before the sun goes down. Hi friends, good morning. I had a rough night last night. I always feel weird around my birthday. I thought I had escaped that this year, but I think because I was traveling, it just showed up a day late. So I was feeling real sorry for myself last night for absolutely no reason. Like, I love my life, but last night I was just having a rough time, and that happens. And I feel like you mostly see me when I'm really happy and excited about things. And I know that can feel really strange to see on social media when you're not getting all aspects of someone's life. But it's hard to be sad for long when you have two lovely little puppies who love you very, very much. Hello, good morning, buddy. Great, he just got mud all over my pants. Okay, well, I guess I have to get changed because now I have mud on me. Unfortunately, my emotional support extrovert friend, my best friend here, is out of town for a couple of weeks. So I'm gonna postpone my friendship birthday celebration until she's back. I'm incapable of planning anything myself. I feel like no one's gonna show up if I plan it. So I'm gonna wait for her to help me. We're just gonna go book shopping and haul books and read books and have a nice time by ourselves. You're gonna hang out with me instead. Hello, I just got 2 packages and I think there might be books. So let's open it. My mom's on the phone as well. What is this? No way!
What is it?
It's a little library stamp. Did you send this?
No?
Who sent this to me? It says from the Library of Katie Marie. That's my YouTube channel.
Oh my gosh, that's so cute.
It's adorable. It's a little stamp. You stamp it in your books. Do you see? And it says from the Library of Katie Marie. This is adorable. I have a library. Wow, that's the coolest thing.
I wonder who got it for you.
I know, who sent me a present and didn't tell me?
Your brother?
That's the only person I can think of because it definitely wasn't Dad. And no one else knows my address. It has like no note, no nothing. We should open the one that you actually got me. It's from Barnes & Noble.
Oh.
Hi, Sully. It's not for you. This is a big box, Mom. God, there's so many books. This is too many. You sent too many. Okay, do you know what this one is? This is, guess where this one is set?
Where?
It's set in the Pyrenean mountain range. Guess who's from that mountain range? This guy. It's a shepherd who thinks who's like a poet, and it's got like the ghosts of 17th century witches who come across his body. I'm really excited. Okay. It's a T. Kingfisher. This is my favorite author. I'm so excited to read this. It's a graphic novel. Look at how beautiful the art is in here.
Oh, wow. Wow.
Yeah.
That's really nice.
It's like absolutely gorgeous. And it's set in space. It looks like it was supposed to have a note, but there's no note.
Well, it was all supposed to be gift wrapped, but they didn't know. There was no option for it, so.
They gift wrapped what?
Apparently you got one gift wrapped.
Oh, this one's great! It's animals solving a murder mystery. Thank you.
You're welcome.
This one's about old people. You live with old people now. My parents just moved to Florida. It's actually really heartbreaking. It's about this woman who is in like a nursing home. She thinks something's not right, and you're like not sure if it's because she has Alzheimer's or if it's like there's actually some horror thing going on. And this one is another cozy fantasy about, I read the first book, which is Half a Soul, and this one is the second book in the series. And it's like a Regency romance. Remember Bridgerton that we watched?
Uh-huh.
It's like that, but with fairies.
Huh. Cute.
And this one is the sequel to the other Becky Chambers book that I really loved. Remember that book I told you that you have to read? The Monk and the Robot?
All right.
This is that author. Thank you.
You're welcome. Now you got something to do today.
I got lots of things to do tonight.
That's good.
Oh my goodness, Mom. This is a lot of books.
It'll keep you out of trouble.
You sent me 7 books. You were supposed to pick like 2 or 3.
Oh, okay.
I'm not complaining. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I just wasn't expecting this many.
Well, good. Well, enjoy your birthday
Thank you.
present. All right.
I'm gonna stamp them with my library stamp.
I know, you have to find out who it was.
I know. I'm not sure how good the footage was of me unboxing my birthday bookies because I was also on the phone with my mom at the same time. So hopefully you got to see, but if not, we'll run through them really quick. This is We Spread by Ian Reid. This is a horror about a woman who's in a nursing home, and there's some things going on. And then I also have a bunch of cozy fantasy and sci-fi, so I'm gonna show you those all together. The first one I've read already, and that's Paladin's Grace. I really, really love this series. The other 2 in the series aren't available in paperback yet, so I eventually want to get those, but I think I might wait and see if they come out in paperback. If not, I'll grab them in hardcover. Then I got the sequel to 2 series that I read in that cozy fantasy vlog that I did, which is Becky Chambers' Wayfarer series, A Closed and Common Orbit. I'm so excited to dive back into this world. And also 10,000 Stitches, which is another Regency fairy romance. And it looks like in this one we have a housemaid who has acquired a fairy godfather. Unfortunately, he has no idea what he's doing. And that just sounds so, so good. So I'm really excited about that one. I'm really excited about all of these. I'm sure you can tell. I just love books, you guys. I'm so happy. Allie from Allison Pages put me onto this one. Her review of this book was just amazing, and I desperately want to pick it up. I think she's gone and read like everything that Tilly Walden has out there, and anyone who has that much passion for an author because of a book, I'm gonna read. This looks like it's going to be a cozy sci-fi, and it's also a sapphic love story, and it's set in space, which feels very similar to this series, which I really love. And I think this one is supposed to be cozier, so I'm really excited, and the art style is beautiful. Then we have Shady Hollow, and this is a murder mystery cozy fantasy series, and it's talking animals. All the people in the village are animals. I love a story with a talking animal, and this one is all talking animals, so I'm very excited. Our main character is a fox. It looks so pretty. I've had this on hold at the library for so long. I just couldn't wait to read it, so I'm really glad that I'm so happy and thankful that my lovely mom spoiled me on my birthday. This last one is not cozy fantasy. It's set in the Pyrenean mountain range. My dog is a Great Pyrenees, and I haven't read anything set in the Pyrenees, so I'm excited to read this. And it's also about a shepherd, and he's a poet, and here's what the back says. He dies with poems on his lips and black chanterelles gathered in his shirt. The ghosts of 17th century witches come across his body and claim his chanterelles before going on their merry way. It's elemental, it's mythic, it has mushrooms and witches. What's not to love? And it's super short. It's under 200 pages, so I just can't wait. Also, look at how pretty this stamp is. I did confirm it was my brother who got it for me, so thanks, Mike. And that's everything. And Barnes & Noble, I think, is having a buy one get one 50% off sale. And a lot of the books that are on sale are things that I have been eyeing for a long time. So we may just go off the deep end and acquire over 10 books in one weekend. But it's okay because I've been walking my neighbor's dog for some extra spending money. So we have a little bit of wiggle room in our budget this month. So we can go spend some money on bookies if we want to. But I'm already feeling overwhelmed because I want to read all of these at the same time, and obviously I can't do that, and I'm also in the middle of reading 3 books at the same time, so probably we're gonna chill and read some things before we go acquire some new ones. But if we can't stop ourselves, we can't stop ourselves. I guess you'll see in a second whether or not we're at Barnes & Noble. We're at Barnes & Noble. What did you expect? I'm hopefully only going to be buying things that I have already read and given 4 or 5 stars that I want to add to my collection, or things that are in series that I like to continue in, or there's a couple of cozy fantasies that I'm on the hunt for, so hopefully we can stick to that. I want to spend under $100. It's going. I am back. I have been very successful. I have 5 books from Barnes & Noble to talk to you about. I wasn't able to find everything that I was looking for, but I did stay under $100, so I call it a win. First up, we have Emily Wilde's Encyclopedia of Faeries. I almost picked this up in the bookstore a couple of weeks ago, and then I ended up grabbing a different book instead, and then like not really liking it and soft DNFing it. So needless to say, I regretted my decision, so I went back to pick this up. This is fairly new and people have started to pick it up and rave about it. And there's a dog named Shadow in it. My mom has a cat named Shadow, so it's meant to be, you know? This was on my most anticipated of 2023 list, so I had to pick it up. It's like a transcript of episode 13 of this like ghost hunting show, and it gets crazy. I read like the first couple of pages just to make sure that the writing style was gonna be for me. And it's already got a kid who has an imaginary friend who is, I'm assuming, a ghostie, which I'm really here for. And I mean, like, look at this cover. Horrifying. Of course, any bookstore I go to, I have to check if they have an E.T. Kingfisher, and they did have the twisted ones. I've been told there's a dog in this. I didn't know there was a dog in this book. I would have picked this up ages ago if I had known that there was a dog. Someone had a TikTok about how like accurate the dog relationship was. Like the dog was not going to protect the owner from anything, and I'm just really interested in that. And then I grabbed some sci-fi. So one thing that I have already read is Network Effect. This is the only book in the Murder Diaries that I now own. I'm just gonna start picking them up whenever I see them in bookstores because I really do love this series and I want it on my shelves, and I could be convinced to reread this whole series. And this is the full-length novel, which I think is probably my favorite. It's either this or book 2 that's my favorite. I've been hearing a lot of people talk about Gideon the Ninth recently, and it just sounds like it's right up my alley. This is more hard sci-fi that I typically read, but it's supposed to be really funny, and I would just love to sink my teeth into another sci-fi series, so probably not for a while am I gonna read this, but it was on sale, so I grabbed it. And then I had to go pick up paint to paint this thing for my brother. Not only was the paint only $1, while I was driving to the shopping mall where it is, I found Girl Scout cookies. I love any lemon Girl Scout cookie that they make, I'm obsessed with. So I got 2 boxes of these. And I also walked past a bake sale that was like right next to the Girl Scout cookies, and they said that they were like not getting a lot of sales because they were competing with Girl Scout cookies. So I donated some money and got a little cookie. I was a Girl Scout and I have had more than my fair share of Thin Mints and Samoas and tagalongs in my life. And as I got older, I really just wanted these lemon ones. I know those are like a boring cookie, but they're so good with tea. So that's my favorite thing. This is the paint that I got. It's just like dollar acrylic paint. I'm gonna paint my brother's. Michael, if you're watching this, stop. I'm gonna spoil your birthday present. I think it might actually, no, it probably won't be by you. I'm sorry, it's gonna be late. I ran out of white paint and I am incapable of leaving my house, I'm sorry. I'm painting my brother's dog. Him and his girlfriend live together and their dog just passed away. He was such a good doggy. So I'm gonna paint him one of his favorite pictures of Leonidas, and that's gonna be his birthday present. And I'm also sending him something else. So Michael, if you watched that, there's still a surprise coming. Okay, and then I went grocery shopping. So if you wanna see my groceries, I'm gonna show them to you. If you don't, skip to the next bit. Tomorrow is Sunday and it's the Super Bowl, and I'm gonna make sausage rolls. Picture of sausage rolls here. My dad said that apparently you can shape them to look like footballs, which I'm gonna try to do. So we'll do that together. But I got extra sage sausage. Usually I get the Jimmy Dean sage, but they didn't have it. Low-key, Jimmy Dean makes my tummy really upset. So hopefully this one will be better. And I got some puff pastry to make that as well. And then for dinner tonight, I'm making gyros. I picked up the gyro meat at Trader Joe's the other day. I wanna do a little Greek salad with it as well. So I got some feta, an onion, a tomato, some tzatziki sauce, pita, and couple different types of green things to make a salad. I also made tacos the other day and I want to eat those for lunch, but I ran out of tortillas, so I grabbed some more of those and some bananas. And that's my grocery haul. Okay, let's make some tacos and then we'll get into reading. I didn't realize that they put little messages on these. I think that's so cute. This one says, I am strong. This one says, I am gutsy. Not my favorite one, but I like the I am strong. I think that's really cute. Let's give them a try. I don't think I've had Girl Scout cookies in a couple of years. Definitely not since I moved here. It's crunchier than I thought it was gonna be. Yeah, that's excellent. Last night I also got through about half of On a Sunbeam, and I'm really enjoying this. We're following a young woman. We're following her and her girlfriend while they're in boarding school, and then we're also following her later in life while she is working, and she is, I think, going to be trying to find her girlfriend who is in this corner of space that's really hard to get to, and it's really hard to leave, and it's really hard to go there. There's a really beautiful found family in the crew of the spaceship. There's great representation in here. And the art is absolutely beautiful. I really love how you always know when you're shifting timelines because the art changes very slightly, but it all still feels very cohesive. I'm just really enjoying the craft of this book. So let's drink our tea, eat our cookies, and finish reading this. I just finished On a Sunbeam. This was exactly what I expected and wanted and hoped that it would be. It's really cozy in the first 3/4 of the book, and then we get a little bit of action at the end. Stakes are high, things get life-threatening. Highly recommend. If you're looking for more cozy sci-fi, I would count this as cozy sci-fi. I think especially if you liked Becky Chambers' The Long Way to a Small Angry Planet, if you like the Wayfarers series, I think you'll really like this. I'm also currently reading Good Omens by Terry Pratchett and Neil Gaiman. And I'm like a little over halfway through it right now. I've already watched the TV show for this and I want to rewatch it as well. I'm having a good time. There is a lot of casual sexism and racism in here, and it's presented as like a funny bit, and I just don't find it very funny at all. Especially if you've read the book, you know what I mean. The Witchfinder in here is just, it's not funny. I just don't think it's funny, and it's supposed to be funny, and it's rubbing me the wrong way. I just don't think that hate and bigotry is ever a good punchline. So the premise of this book is we have two angels. Well, we have an angel and a demon, a fallen angel. Who is Crowley, who's played by David Tennant in the TV series, which I love David Tennant as an actor. He's the fallen angel, the bad dude. And we have Aziraphale, who's the angel, and they're kind of been together since the beginning on opposing sides, and they're kind of just friends at this point. They've decided to team up to see if they can stop the end of the world from happening. It's very much a combination of Neil Gaiman and Terry Pratchett's writing styles. I'm like halfway through reading Guards. It's my first Terry Pratchett that I've ever read, and I've read a couple of Neil Gaiman's books in the past as well. You can tell they both wrote the book. So it's very silly, it's very over the top, it's also dark. We're dealing with the Antichrist. It's very absurd and it's very dark. It's funny. That's something that I love in my books. I'm trying to rewatch the episodes of the TV series like as I read the chunks of the book. And I think so far, anything that's bothering me about the book has been taken out in the TV series. So I can't believe I'm saying this, but maybe just watch the TV series. Although there are a couple of things in the TV series that seem kind of out of left pocket or seem kind of random that are explained much more in depth in the book. I don't think this is going to be a case where I like the book better than the TV series. I think this is going to be a case where the book makes me like the TV series even more because I learned the backstory of things that the TV series didn't have enough time to go in depth on, if that makes sense. It's supposed to rain pretty soon, so I think maybe we'll just go run around with the doggies outside until it starts raining, and then we'll pick another book. I also need to take a thumbnail and upload the video for tomorrow, so let me go do that quick. Good morning! I am just getting ready for the day, and I thought we could chat about the books that I read last night while we do that. Also, this is clean. How is there still this much fur on it? It's ridiculous, the amount of fur. I have been reading Olivia Wilde's Encyclopedia of Faeries. I'm, I think, about 50 pages in. No, I'm 30 pages in. I really don't have much to say other than I'm intrigued. I'm excited to see what's gonna happen. It's not done anything to like put me off the book, if that makes sense. But it's also not like it's like wowed me in any way. I'm just trying to breathe some life back into my curls today. It's definitely got a lot of moisture in the air, so they should spring up because it's raining today, but they just got a little disheveled. So, Olivia Wilde's Encyclopedia for Faeries is a newer release. I believe it came out either late 2022 or early 2023? Yeah, it came out in 2023, so it's brand new, and I've seen a lot of people picking it up as like the next cozy fantasy that we're all gonna read. And I want to do a video next week on all the cozy fantasy that I've read, because I've read like over 30 now. I feel like it wouldn't be complete if I didn't include this book, and also I'm really excited to read it. So the premise of this book is we have Emily Wilde, and she is a professor at Cambridge. She's in her 30s, I believe. She's got this giant black dog who's very old. She's a dryadologist, so she studies fairies, and her goal is to create the first encyclopedia of fairies, because there have been compendiums, which are publications about like a specific region of the world and their folk, but there's not a full comprehensive book, so that's what she's gonna do. And now we've also been introduced, not to him in person, but I'm assuming he's gonna show up because I think he's the love interest, and his name is Bamblebee, and he's also a professor of dryadology, and Emily has this theory that he's not human, that he's one of the folk. So that'll be interesting. And the fairy people, there are like 2 different main types. There's common folk, who are like small, child size at most fairies, and then there are also courtly fae, who are like human-sized people. Emily has traveled to this really remote island. I'm sort of thinking of it in my mind as Svalbard. There's a really cool creator who lives on Svalbard, and she does a bunch of content creation about her life there. It's technically part of Norway. It's an island really close to the North Pole, and it's like one of the, I think, most northernmost inhabited places on Earth. Super gorgeous, super cool content that she makes. And so I have like an image of an island that's really far up north, and that's what I'm envisioning where Emily is in my mind. That's really about it though. There's not been, like I said, I'm only 30 pages in. There's not been a whole lot that has gone on. All right, cool. I think we're good. I'm also wearing, you can't see, but I'm wearing corduroy pants today. I'll show you. They're silly. I'm wearing my cute little corduroy pants. Little Free Library vlog goes live in just under an hour, so if you haven't seen that yet, it's live when I'm posting this video, so make sure you go check that out. I'll link it up there somewhere. Let's transition over to the couch. So I know that I want to read this today. I don't think I did a very good job updating you on this, but I'm still reading it. I'm this far into it so far. And I would love to like finish both of these today and then maybe start reading this one. I have a lot of ambitious plans. So I would love to be able to read all of those today, but you know what? We gotta cook and clean and do a lot of other stuff today, so that probably won't happen, but I will do some reading. I also didn't tell you about Puppy Dog. I'm not super happy with the way that this has turned out. I think we have at least a start on Mr. Puppy Dog here, so I would love to have this done by tomorrow so that I can go ship it out to the post office, because it's my brother's birthday today, and obviously it's not gonna be there for his birthday today, but hopefully I can finish painting it today and then we can ship it out tomorrow and it'll be there by the end of the week. I'm gonna go listen to Good Omens and do a bunch of cleaning, so I will see you when that is done. Hello, my dough has thawed, so we're gonna make some sausage rolls as I chat to you about Emily Wilde's Encyclopedia of Faeries. I'm almost 100 pages in, and I'm enjoying it a lot. I was actually struggling a little bit with the beginning of it. It was just very, very slow to start with, and I was having a bit of a hard time with it. But now our second character, Wendell Bamblebee, has shown up, and he's very, very funny. And I'm really enjoying like his banter with Emily. And so that's been really, really enjoyable. I need some scissors. Okay, if you're not English, you might not know what a sausage roll is. It's sausage rolled in puff pastry, and it's exceptional, and that's what I'm making for the Super Bowl party I'm going to tonight. I just get like a package of puff pastry, and usually it's folded into these 3 little rectangles, and you just take them, sprinkle them with a bit of flour. Hey, don't lick that, please. And then I don't have a rolling pin, so I'm using this bottle of port because it doesn't have a label on it. So I'm just gonna roll this out a little bit because I want it to be just a little bit wider so that I can roll it around my sausage. Okay, let's talk about this fairy book. It's a lot darker than I was expecting. I think I had expected the fairies to be like small and sprite-like in constitution. I feel like fairies are either small and benevolent or they're human-sized and scary. And in this book, we have both small and human-sized fairies, but they are all pretty dark. And I actually really love dark fairy stories, so I'm having a great time. It's just not what I was expecting because this is classed as cozy fantasy. I was expecting it to be less dark than it is. We already have like a changeling creature who is haunting a house, which is super interesting, and I love the fact that we're coming to this from like a scholarly perspective. She's writing an encyclopedia of fairies, so there's a lot of intellectual intrigue going on, which I tend to really enjoy. Wendell Bamblebee is also providing a lot of comic relief. just like the way that him and Emily interact is deeply funny, and I'm really enjoying it, and I hope their romance is fun, because I'm pretty sure this is a romance. So 100 pages in, I am really enjoying Emily Wilde's Encyclopedia of Faeries, and I'm curious to see kind of what direction we're gonna go in here, because so far we have met a couple of fairies. Hey Webby, could you play with a toy that doesn't squeaky? So far we've met a couple of fairies, both of the human size and also the smaller size, and they're both dark. And I'm really interested to see kind of what's going on, and also we have Wendell, who Emily thinks is a fairy as well, and we think he's a fairy of royal blood, and so it'll be really interesting to see how his storyline evolves, because he is apparently important in fairy world, and so I'm interested to see how that goes. And little Web is squeaking his toy merrily, so I'm gonna come back once I've reached the next phase of sausage roll making, and hopefully Webster will be done squeaking, so I'll see you then. Also, apologies for the lighting being awful. It's so dark outside. It's been raining all day, so it's super dark outside, but we're at phase 2. I have rolled out all of my little squares, and now what we're gonna do is take some sage sausage. Any sage sausage will do, as long as it's got sage in it. This is Southern style country sausage with extra sage. It's gonna be extra sagey. Typically the pastry sheets come in sheets of, they have 2 different sheets in them, and they're folded 3 ways. So you end up with, if you use the whole packet, you end up with 6 sheets of pastry and 2 pounds of sausage. Then I just split each pound into thirds, and then we roll them out so that they're the same length as the pastry sheet. I have another reading update for you. I'm almost done with Good Omens. I wish I were telling you that I love it and it's great and it's super funny and exactly what I thought it would be, but it's not. The sexism and the racism has just gotten too much. There are a couple of scenes where I was just like, when was this written? Because it's not good. I'll give you one last update when I finish it, but I'm fairly certain I'm going to be telling you to, unfortunately, skip the book and just watch the TV show. Because I feel like the TV series, which I've also been watching, I think the TV series has taken out everything that's problematic about the book and kept all the funny bits and the things that I greatly enjoy about the book. I don't know if any of you care, but if anyone wants to hear how my family makes sausage rolls, here we go. I think most of my viewers are in the US. I'm also in the US, but my dad is British. I don't know if we've ever conversed about that. I mean, this is a good, I'm using a bottle of port wine to roll out sausage rolls. That pretty much explains my family. My mom is from Portugal, so I'm half Portuguese, and my dad is from England, so I am half British. We're like an amalgamation of things, but mostly Scottish. Sausage rolls, very common English snack, very common appetizer. My dad always makes them for parties. Like if we bring a dish, typically we bring sausage rolls. They're just delicious. But there we go. We got sausage roll ready to be chopped up. So I'm just gonna roll out the sausage until it's the same length as the pastry. This probably looks disgusting. I'm super sorry for the raw meat jump scare. I've got my sausage, the length of the pastry, and then I'm gonna take some milk in this bowl that you can't see, and I'm putting it on the outside edge of the pastry. And then we take the top half and we just kind of make sure that's nice and tight in there. And then we just roll it onto the seam. I like to just give it a couple of little rolls just to marry those ends together. Then we got sausage and pastry. What's not to love? Now that we have our logs, what we're gonna do is we're gonna cut them into pieces about a finger width apart like this. And then I'm gonna attempt to make them football shaped. I'm not entirely sure how one does that. Is that gonna look like anything? It's a football. All right, I'll show you them when they're done. Sausage rolls have been cooked. I'm off to go to the Super Bowl party, but I just finished Good Omens and I really did love the ending of the book. I think it's gonna be a 3-star for me, but I stand by what I said earlier. I think if you're interested in the story, try the TV series first, and then only if you really wanna know like an absurd amount of backstory on things, that's the only time that I would actually recommend reading the book. But this is gonna be one of those rare circumstances where I think TV series is better than book. I'm gonna go, I'll see you when I get back. I just got home and I had so much fun hanging out with friends at this Super Bowl party, so I'm really glad that I went. And I actually started a new book on audio while I was in the car because I finished Good Omens right before I left. So I am now reading Finlay Donovan Jumps the Gun, which is the newest book in the Finlay Donovan series. I had requested it on hold from the library when it came out, and surprisingly, it was available really, really soon. I was kind of shocked with how early I was able to get a copy of it. So that's fantastic. I'm reading it. I love this series so much, and the third one is just as fun. I really thought that this police academy thing would be present from the beginning of the story. It's in the synopsis that Finlay and Vero are going to be attending this civilian police academy situation training, and I really thought that was going to be like the jumping off point, but we've not even interacted with the cop like at all. And I'm 15% of the way through it already. So I am enjoying book 3, but I'm exhausted, so it's time to go to bed, and I will see you tomorrow. Good morning! I just put my tripod leg in my cup of tea, so that's fun. I haven't read any more of Emily Wilde's Encyclopedia of Faeries, but I'm 32% of the way through Finlay Donovan Jumps the Gun. I don't really have much to say in terms of the plot. I'm really enjoying it. We're now at the police academy. I just want to say that I forgot how fun this series is. It's been a while since I've read the other 2 Finlay Donovan books, and it's been a while since I've read a thriller adjacent book, and I just forgot how freaking fun this series is. I really, really love it. It got ridiculous from page 1. We've got our love interest in here. I love Vero and Finlay's dynamic. I love the fact that Finlay's kids are always hilarious. And of course, Finlay's also an author, so we're getting to see her revise this book and try to sell this book, and her first book is like about to be in print. It's just a really fun series, and I always know that our team is gonna get out of whatever ridiculous situation they get themselves into. It's just a really good time, and I'm having a fantastic time. I think it's exactly what I needed. So I'm really glad my hold came in at the library. I thought this was just gonna be a weekend reading vlog. That was my intention, was just to go Thursday to Sunday. I think we're just gonna continue to hang out because tomorrow's Valentine's Day, and I'm spending Valentine's Day alone, and some of you might be spending Valentine's Day alone as well, so I thought we could just hang out together. I'm never a big Valentine's Day person, even if I am in a relationship, so I don't typically love to do anything for Valentine's Day. That's all I have to say. I just wanted to give you an update that we're gonna keep hanging out until tomorrow. I think my friend sent me flowers. I have just been all over the neighborhood trying to find these because they accidentally put in the wrong address, and that address does not exist on my street. And so the delivery driver got a little creative and dropped it where they thought he was intending to send it. So anyways, we have flowers, let's open them. I have really nice friends, you guys. It's got a little vase and everything. Oh my god. Look at my little flowers. Okay, I have to arrange them in the vase nicely. But there's 2, this is only half of them. I don't think anyone's ever sent me flowers before. This is really nice. Okay, I'm gonna go arrange my flowers, bye. Okay, well, I was not expecting this. Look at them. This is like the nicest thing anyone has ever done for me. I have really good friends. I just wish they lived in the same state that I do. I gotta go back to work. Bye. Good morning. It's actually Wednesday, so Valentine's Day has come and gone. Valentine's Day arrived, and I was feeling kind of funky. I did not want to be perceived today, and I also was having a really hard time just being productive. So I ended up just cooking a bunch of meals. I baked some cookies. I cuddled my dogs. I had a nice quiet day in. And that brings us to now. Let's talk about the Finlay Donovan book. It's Finlay Donovan Jumps the Gun. I keep mixing them up. I think it is my favorite of the 3. I just had such a good time. It was funny. We had a steamy scene. It was just exactly what I wanted it to be, and I'm really excited for the next book. I also need to tell you about Emily Wilde's Encyclopedia of Faeries. This is a lot darker than I expected. I think what probably happened here is the book was created, written, edited as a regular fantasy book, and then because of all the hype around cozy fantasy, it was then marketed as cozy fantasy. It is a lower stake book in the fact that we're not trying to save the world. We are in a small remote village. There's a lot of focus on academia. And also, there is a quest going on in here, but it's not a quest to save the world. It's a quest to save a couple of people. There are stakes, like characters are important in the grand scheme of a few different realms. And like I said earlier, we're now embarking on this adventure quest. So if you're picking up Emily Wilde's Encyclopedia of Faeries, thinking that we're just going to be studying fairies and making friends with fairies, hanging out with our love interest who has a really funny name, that's not really what's going on here. It's very dark. There's quite a bit of violence in here. I don't know if I'm going to be able to articulate the difference between the violence that's in this book and the violence that's in, say, a Neil Gaiman book or a T. Kingfisher book, because those books still feel inherently cozy to me. I know they don't feel cozy to other people, but I would include them in a list of cozy fantasy. Let's take the Saint of Steel series, the Paladin books. There's a lot of beheadings. There's a lot of violence in those books. There are fight scenes. But in those books, it's very clear who the good guys are, who the bad guys are, and we have faith that all of, or a vast majority of, the good guys are going to succeed and make it to the end. And there's also a lot of humor in there as well. Things are deeply funny even while they're also scary. So those feel cozier to me than this book does, and I think it's because of the fact that we have fairies in here who have this apathy towards violence that is deeply terrifying to me. The fairies will just commit acts of violence that are really horrifying and then kind of go about their day like nothing happened, and it's kind of hard for them to grasp that that's terrifying to humans, or they will deliberately try to hurt humans for fun. We're discussing things like changelings, where fairies will swap out one of their children for a human child. The fairy child can be really malicious and malevolent towards the humans, and they have to just take care of this fairy child in order to hope that one day their child will be returned to them. This conversation about how the humans in this world don't know why that happens, and as far as they can tell, it's just something that the fairies do when they're bored for enjoyment. You know, kidnapping children for fun is not something that feels cozy to me. I fully understand that I'm being a gigantic hypocrite, so that's me, hungry hypocrite. I just really don't find it to be particularly cozy. As a cozy fantasy, I don't love it. As a regular fantasy book that's dark, I'm loving it. So I think if you're gonna pick this book up, you kind of have to shift your mindset and think of it as regular dark fantasy that's a little bit slower paced, that's talking about academia, where we have a romance happening, and that our setting is smaller. We're in a remote village. It's very, very cold. You just need to know what you're getting yourself into. I don't think it's a cozy fantasy, but it is an excellent dark fairy story. The other thing that I'm questioning here is I've been thinking of this setting in my head as like a Svalbard type place, because she said that it's an island really close to the North Pole, it's very cold there, and there's not a lot of people on this island, but yet we still have day and night, and it's like December, which is the point at which an island that close to the North Pole would be in polar night. Like, there would be no daytime. So I'm wondering if I messed up in my brain when I was reading the setting and this is not actually set as far north as I thought it was. You know, it's a work of fiction, they can do what they want, but I think it would be even cooler if we were in polar night. I think that would be awesome. I feel like all I did in this vlog is start books and not finish them, so I really apologize for that. I will do my best in future vlogs to finish the books that I'm talking to you about in the beginning of the video, but I promise everything that I mentioned in this book I will finish by the end of the month, so you can come back and watch my wrap up and I'll go through everything in depth there. Thank you so much for spending my birthday weekend with me. It really meant a lot. I was feeling a lot of emotions this week, and having you guys virtually there to hang out with was really, really nice. I would love to know what you guys are reading, and as always, if you have any video ideas you think I should tackle, I would love to hear that too. I have a lot of big plans for March. I think one of them is going to be a 24-hour readathon, so if you're interested in that and you want to stick around, make sure you subscribe. I post every Sunday at 11 a.m. Eastern, and if you don't want to wait until next Sunday, I have some videos over here that you might enjoy as well. See you next time. Bye!